What if I told you there's a herd of over 300,000 caribou that you can hunt from the road? Would that interest you? This isn't theory. I did this exact hunt back in '94, and I had one heck of a great time. We used a raft. Well, at the time we had a canoe, 2 bicycles, a 4-wheel drive truck, and we pulled off an epic caribou hunt for pennies on the dollar. And you can still do that same hunt today.
Now, strap up your seatbelts.
Because I
Let's get
have
going.
one heck of a hunt that you can do and save a ton of money. Back in 1994, I was in the Air Force, and not many of us were making much money at all, and it was all about what you could do from the road system, which ironically is how I grew up hunting in Wyoming and Montana as a kid. So this hunt really boded well for me to go out there on gas money in a vehicle I already owned, and I went and bought a canoe. Me and my buddy split gas, split the cost of fuel, and grabbed this canoe and 2 bicycles and loaded up with food, and we headed up. We started from Anchorage and then had to drive all the way to Fairbanks to even begin this journey, which was already about a full day's drive. 7 to 8 hour drive just to Fairbanks. Back then I had an old Chevy pickup truck with a camper on it, and it was really nice to have that camper in that jacked up Chevy 1987 Chevy truck, which was perfect for this expedition. I had a back cab over camper on it. It was just an excellent way to go do this hunt. What we did was we took off early in the morning on our weekend, and we had leave from the military, and we headed up north. It took us almost 7 hours to get to Fairbanks, and from there we weren't wasting any time, and we just headed up the haul road. So this was the first time. But today's standards, it's going to cost you no less than $7,000 to $9,000 to go and be flown out with an air taxi or transporter service to get 1 caribou. That's just crazy. The taxi services right now have gone stupid silly, and you don't have to do that. The caribou are no bigger from one caribou herd to the next caribou herd. It's just a matter of numbers. And in this case, the numbers of caribou come right across the road system. So traditional costs are between $8,000 to $10,000 now, $7,000 to $10,000 now to be flown out into the field and flown back with 1 caribou, and that's 1 person. And then couple that with you and your buddy or buddies, and you've got a chunk of change lined up on 1 caribou. Now, if you were even to be able to do that and harvest 2 caribou, wow, even that's a lot. I mean, that's what it costs to go on a moose hunt in Alaska, $7,000 to $9,000, and you're right there with them. And that doesn't even consider the cost of flying from Anchorage or Fairbanks out into the next village, which is usually what that means. Like if you're going to go up to Kotzebue, then you got that cost as well, and that cost is about $300 to $500 on a round-trip ticket to Kotzebue and back, or whatever village you're going to go to then hook up with your bush flight services. Keep in mind that when you're coming back successful, hopefully, with the caribou, you're looking at about 120 to 180 pounds of meat, and that's going to cost you between $1 and $2 a pound to get put into a package and brought back on that commercial flight to Anchorage only or Fairbanks. So that's an additional cost. Also, on top of that, you could be looking at extra hotel expenses in Kotzebue or whatever village you're going to go into, and the simple fact that those villagers are really not happy that you're there hunting their animals, and that's exactly how these native communities look at it.
Hey guys, did you know that I am dropping a hunt every 2 weeks into Tundra Mentor? That's right. You subscribe to Tundra Mentor, and I'm dropping 1 new DIY hunt every 2 weeks. This is huge, and you can be the first one to access it before you ever see it here. TundraMentorAI.com, where we drop 1 new Alaska DIY hunt every 2 weeks, and you are the first to access those hunts. They're awesome over at Tundra Mentor, and I like them a lot. Just click the link down in the bio or in the comments, and it'll take you right to where you need to go. Check everything out. Link down below. or in the comment section, and you are in like Flynn.
What I'm proposing to you is a road system hunt for caribou, over 300,000 strong, and you can get there with filling up with fuel. So for the price of gasoline, your vehicle, you can get all the way up, and you can bring your tents, or you can stay in hotels or little in the small towns along the way. That's up to you. After you add up all the expenses, it's about a $900 to $1,200 commercially to be flown from the lower 48 to Fairbanks, Alaska, and then your round trip. So that's between $900 and $1,300 right there. You're looking at a U-Haul rental, and that breaks down to about $24 a day and so many cents a mile. So figure about another $1,200 in expenses there. You can buy your own rafts, or you can rent rafts. That's up to you. A raft rental for me is anywhere from $600 to $1,750 for your hunt. To buy a raft that you're going to need for this kind of adventure, you're looking at about $2,300 to $2,700. Your typical alpaca rafts, they'll work, but you're going to be in wilderness, so you're going to need to make sure that whatever you bring it's your lifeline out of the field, and what you're doing here is true wilderness. So I would go more heavy duty than I would lightweight, because you're not really packing this stuff with what I'm proposing here, with what I've already done. I did it with a canoe, so you could definitely do it however you like. If I was going to fly to Fairbanks as a non-resident, I would plan on one night stay in Fairbanks before I rented the U-Haul. I do recommend you to bring an inReach or sat phone rental, because what happens is this time of year in Alaska, depending if you go early or even late, but they can get some torrential rainstorms and it'll wash out the road. And I've seen it where people were stranded on the north side of the Alaska range for up to 2 weeks. So you want to keep that in mind. This does happen, and it's happened enough times to where you want to plan for an extended stay. So having an inReach or a sat phone is going to be incredible to have, to call your boss and say, hey, I'm going to be late, and this is why. The road's washed out, and we physically cannot get past this washed out river.
Hey guys, did you know that I am dropping a hunt every 2 weeks into Tundra Mentor? That's right. Subscribe to Tundra Mentor, and I'm dropping one new DIY hunt every 2 weeks. This is huge, and you can be the first one to access it before you ever see it here. TundraMentorAI.com, where we drop one new Alaska DIY hunt every 2 weeks, and you are the first to access those hunts. They're awesome over at Tundra Mentor, and I like them a lot. Just click the link down in the bio or in the comments, and it'll take you right to where you need to go. Check everything out. Link down below or in the comment section, and you are in like Flynn.
And this is seriously a hunt that you can do with 2, 3, 4, 5 people and split all these expenses. Now you're down to $1,000 each for a caribou hunt. Plan on 10 days, and you should be able to get up there. And with what I'm going to show you on how to get into there and to get out of that 5-mile corridor, so you don't have to hike 5 miles with a backpack and then harvest your animal and then come back through with an additional 180 pounds through tundra. No, this rafting, what I have and what I've done and what I'm going to show you with the raft system, game changer. And you're going to get away from the road and where everybody else is mostly at, and that's going to be on the road. When I did it, we didn't see anybody else. And you can get into some really pristine camping and get off the road system. Now, when I say this is a long road, guys. And seeing people, yeah, you're going to see them, but it's nothing like what you're thinking. So why is this a smart decision to forego flying out into the field? Well, if you know anything about flying out into the field, and I'm sure a lot of you have already witnessed this, but it's really chaotic, busy out there in the field where they're flying you. These bush companies are literally stacking you guys up on top of each other in a line, because that's where the caribou are coming from. So I've had stories of guys that they could see 4 or 5 other caribou camps from the ridgetop that where they were at, and that's what's going on out there. So this drive up through the Brooks Range is beautiful. It's pristine, some of the cleanest, freshest air you'll ever smell. The nights are filled with the northern lights. You're going to see grizzlies along the way. Caribou you'll see crossing the road along the way. You'll see the moose. And when you get up get into the mountains, you most likely will see dull sheep up there. Now, depending on how early or how late that you decide to go, which could definitely be into snow and maybe even get snowed on. If you get into mid-September, that's getting into the frosties. I'll tell you right now, it's going to get cold. Anything after the 10th, 13th is going to start being cold. So if you go earlier, you're going to be able to enjoy a much more enjoyable and warmer hunt. So keep that in mind. Once you figure this out one time, you can do this year after year after year. Think about this. Normally, you would have spent $14,000 on airfare, $7,000 each for an air taxi service, right? Why not get this dialed in? Why not buy a truck for $10,000 and store it in Fairbanks? You've saved $4,000, and you can go and hunt this herd year after year after year. And then when you're done, sell the truck for half price. You're still money ahead, big time money ahead. You can physically hunt this for the rest of your life. You can start your own planning, and you can hunt it this year. You can hunt the caribou herd this year. We're early, and all you got to do is rent a U-Haul or have a vehicle waiting for you up there, pre-bought, who knows, however you want to do it. And you're hunting this year for these prices, and it is totally doable. You don't need anybody else to help you. I know all of it. I can help you. I got the videos already done. You just got to watch them. You can download the information, take with you. You're golden, guys. You're golden. I've lived in Alaska over 30 years. Usually have flown over it a few thousand times, I think, and up and over the top of them mountains. It's been an amazing journey for me. And this is all you need to do. Seriously. For now, air taxi services drop down. Why not? You're not going to get anything bigger, but you will certainly maybe get a different experience. This is gold. This is money right here for you.